Hey guys, Artosis here. Welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Appreciate having you. We're going to do a few more Terran vs. Zerg games, and this is kind of really nice. We actually have Flash here playing on the ladder against ArtUser, another pro gamer, and they actually played 3 games in a row. So, yeah, they're just saying hi to each other, but we'll go ahead and cover these 3 games. Very interested to see what Flash is doing specifically in Terran vs. Zerg at the moment. We've seen a lot of mech switches out of him. He was one of the earliest people to start really pressuring early on without 2-Rax Academy openers. So yeah, I'm very excited and interested to see what Flash's take is going to be here. So very nice. Always good to get some Flash games back in there. Of course, if you don't know who ArtUser is, he's like been very active for a while. He hasn't really been quite to the quality of like ASL, but he's a very well-known pro. He was a pro back in the Kespa days. Samsung, I believe, was a team that he was on. But yeah, a good friend with the pros, plays all the time. You know, it's just there's only so many slots in ASL, so he doesn't quite make it in there. Anyways, we're on Pantheon, and his Overlord is scouting right towards Flash, who is walling in very quickly here. Not a big surprise to see. He'll probably put a secondary depot right there, and then you just kind of rally back, and you have only this hole to contend with. Now, SCV Scout coming out, he will be able to scout ArtUser first and realize that he could go, for instance, like a 15 command center. Wouldn't be surprised to see Flash do that. Not many people skip the second depot when they scout Zerg first anymore, although I've seen it pop up a couple times recently. For a long time, that was the only way to play. If you scouted Zerg first, you 100% didn't go for the second depot. But nowadays, people don't really do that as much. If you actually try that, and then your opponent makes 8 lings, it's actually a pain in the butt. You have to pull SCVs to hold. So, Flash, though, is like the king of optimizers of all time. So I wouldn't have been surprised if he had skipped this depot to just get the command center a little bit quicker. But no, he's going to make the depot, make some Marines, 1 to 2 Marines, and then get his command center going. So a single Marine does pop out and starts walking over here. Yeah, and that's like we've covered this in other Terran vs. Zerg games where, like, don't do this if you are like a lower level player. But a lot of pros like to send this over, and it never kills anything, but it makes drones run away. That's generally all it does. Oh, it was on attack move, so it hits the Overlord. So he'll actually just deal some damage to this and then walk back. He doesn't have time to keep going. But it makes sure that they do have to make a couple of lings. And normally what happens is it walks over and it attacks this drone, and this drone goes back in the main, and then it runs away immediately because it knows lings are coming. So you can see that this is not like an overreaction. He made 2 lings at his natural for exactly that type of move and to clear the SCV. Looking back at Flash's side here, it's made just a small handful of Marines right now. Going for a very fast gas, so this is probably just going to be a very fast engineering bay. Again, not a big surprise to see. You know, that has been the most... Oh, it's actually 1-Rax Academy. Okay, now we're getting into interesting territory. So let me mention this, okay? Like, I was actually talking recently on stream, because I've been watching so many Terran vs. Zergs lately, that I think that basically the metagame of Terran vs. Zerg is going to shift into something that's only pressure focused as opposed to timing focused, because the Zergs have just kind of solved all the timings that Terran has. So, like, you know, power spikes. Trying to hit on power spikes, and very fast +1 builds generally do that, but it's rare. It's like the Zerg has to screw up nowadays. The Terran can't just play well. The Zerg has to screw up to allow the +1 builds to do anything. So what Flash has done here is he's gone for 1-Rax Academy, and this will get you your academy super fast, and it can do things like you'll get range and stim more quickly. He's not actually starting either yet, which is interesting. This has actually been my go-to Terran vs. Zerg build for over a year at this point. You know, it's something that has popped in and out of the metagame a little bit. It looks like he delayed stim just slightly there to get his barracks and his engineering bay up. But I'm very interested to see Flash do that, because I've never actually seen Flash utilize this build. Looking over on the side of ArtUser just to make sure we're keeping track of what's going on. It is a 2-hatch Muta with the 3rd hatch in the main base. No big surprises there. And this is just like a very stable opening from Flash, but he never put any real pressure on, so we don't have any Sunkens or anything. We just have this very small group of Speedlings. So it's like he made 6 Lings total. Very normal stuff. Carapace actually on the way. So when you see Zerg get Carapace nowadays, it used to actually be something where you might just get Carapace to fight against Marine Medic. Nowadays, when you see Carapace, it normally means that the Zerg player thinks it might be a Valkyrie Rush. Yeah, people really prefer +1 attack if they know it's not a Valkyrie Rush. But I think it's still totally fine, even against Bio, to go for the +1 armor. Okay, so Flash throwing down a lot of missile turrets right away to start. He's on that 3 barracks production. He's got this little group of Bio out in the front to kind of zone things out. The Muta's starting to fly in a little bit. +1 and range, both on the way here for Flash. More Mutas joining up. A few more drones popping out as well there for ArtUser. Looks like he sent a drone to this 3rd base location. Everyone seems to be taking other naturals right now, and ArtUser not going to do anything different as far as that goes. Factory getting started relatively early. And Flash is on, of course, a very healthy 32 SCVs here. So yeah, this is like as standard as you can get, which is in and of itself like kind of cool because you don't see that many standard TVZs from Flash right now. Like it's just like a kind of robust opener where you go 1 Rax Academy Rush into 3 barracks into Factory is, well, that's why I use it a lot personally on the ladder, is because it's super, super flexible. It, in theory, is supposed to be able to deal with anything. Now, of course, we've seen that Zergs have been unbelievable on their defense lately. So, yeah, I do wonder about Flash's choice going here. He is getting 2 starports really, really quickly with it. Now, this is a full group of Mutas, so he's going to actually have to pull the trigger at this point. He has to do something with this gigantic group of Mutalisks. That +1 Carapace still on the way. This hatchery almost done. More Mutas still hatching. Lots of Lings being made. So it seems to me... Ooh, not good. Not good control there. It seems to me he's going to try an army crush here. Kind of Sulky-esque. Get a lot of Lings out with his Mutas. Kind of go around this Bioforce a little bit and wait until it's just slightly too far out and then surround it and kill it. I think that is the idea, what he's going for. And he is waiting for that +1 Carapace kind of as well. Getting a lot of stims out of Flash here. You can see keeping a lot of Lings down on the side. Lurker upgrade is on the way. Carapace on the way. And he's actually droning right now. Kind of feels weird what we're seeing here. This has been some of the weakest Mutalisk, honestly. And like obviously Flash is doing a good job with his Marines, but these Mutas have been weak. I do want to point out, occasionally I'll see, when I'm looking through the comments of some of these videos, people will be like, wow, that guy really sucked. ArtUser is a pro gamer near the top of the ladder, just so people know. Like, he is very good, but yeah, this Mutalisk harassment is falling a little bit flat. That's for sure. So double Valkyrie is on the way. Hydra's being made as that Lurker upgrade is finishing. Flash very heavy on the bio here. He does have his own +1 attack. As those 2 Valkyries come out, he's going to move instantly across the map. Here we go. Oh, he actually chooses to get rid of the Overlord. So this actually might cut into his time slightly. Like, he might not get there before Lurkers are done. We'll see. Oh, he hasn't started his Lurker morph. Oh, you know what? He lost 2 Overlords instantly, and now he doesn't have the supply to make Lurkers. Okay, we've seen this before. So 1 Overlord was too close to the turrets here and just got spotted as the Valkyries came out. The second one, he stopped to kill, and now the Lurkers are morphing. So without those Lurkers, like, this is a real attack timing. There's very few well, there's not very few Mutas, but they're very low on health. Flash trying to get in here before those Lurkers are done. Another Valkyrie coming up. That's going to really hurt these Mutalisks. Probably can clear them at this point. Oh, the Lurkers do get out. And Flash will have to pull back a little bit. Woo! This does not look good for ArtUser. He's going to lose every Muta. Oh, you know what? He has 4 very badly hurt Mutas left over, so good on him. The Bioforce moving over towards this base. Now, it looks like, yeah, there was a morph of like 5-6 Lurkers over here, or I guess 5, and then 1 down here, so not a lot of defense. He's trying to get some Sunkens up, but it seems like it's going to be a little bit late. Oh, man. That is not good. GG. Okay, not the greatest showing from ArtUser. His Mutalisk usage was quite poor there. You know, obviously a very good player, but quite poor Mutalisk usage. He didn't get anything. He killed 0 SCVs. He barely touched any of the Marines. Flash just continued to build up to a mass and was able to just kind of walk across the map, especially after killing the double Overlords. I think Zergs have to be more careful about that. And Flash wins with a bust. So this is something I've been going over in these TVZs as we have been doing a little bit of a Terran vs. Zerg deep dive. The SK Terran wins are like 100% busts. Like breaking through right before the Zerg is ready. We haven't really been seeing any SK Terran wins, any Marine Medic Science Vessel wins, where there's already Lurkers burrowed at both bases. So this holds up to that. We'll see how they do in the next couple games. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching.